playoffs. Who will be crowned the winner of Lord Stanley's Cup and claim it for so many days and enjoy it with so many people around? Because why not? It is the most beautiful cup that is there to present date in all of sports. In one corner, we had the defending champions, the Florida Panthers, as they hope to reclaim the cup and win it for the second time in a row. In their history, they've only ever been to the cup final 4 times. And in doing so, only twice did they fail. So can this be another repeat of those other twice? Or will we finally see them win it for the second time in a row? What a dynasty they are building. Hopefully they can get it done. But of course, in the other corner, they have to deal with a familiar opponent who they only just beat just last year. The Edmonton OILERS, led by the amazing, the beautiful, the hyper-extensive, crying out loud, the best damn player in the world, Connor McDavid. Can McDavid finally lead his band of brothers on the way to the elusive Lord Stanley's Cup that continuously seems to get away from their grasp? Because after all, they've been at this before. They had to deal with it last year. All the trauma, all the sweet, sweet tears coming from them as they could not get it done. They had the opportunity of the lifetime to take it from the Panthers. But no, they could not claim it. They could not claim it for Team Canada. Because as it shows, almost every bloody year, it has to be the Oilers who is Canada's savior at finally winning the cup after 30 darn long years. Can it be done? Can Canada finally claim a cup after so long? Or does the US of A claim every single cup from here on out? Because at the end of the day, there are only 7 Canadian teams, and there's only so many good Canadian teams out there that it's just so small and insignificant that it's a miracle that Oilers still managed to make it this far every single year. But that's enough about me. So here we go. It is I, the man, the myth, the legend, the Hitman! Welcome, guys. It's been a long time. I can assure you it's been a very, very long time, and I'm sure you missed me. If not, that's okay. I'm sure there are other people that you'd rather be watching right now, but that's okay. I appreciate it. I'm glad to see you guys all around. You know, it's been a while, and yeah, I'm just been interested in some outside things. So it just so happens that while my first stream back isn't necessarily a game stream, but a stream nonetheless about the Stanley Cup playoffs. Because let's be honest, hockey is my favorite sport, if I haven't made that clear a long time ago. Or rather, having made that clear almost every single video as I talk about hockey. Actually, that's a lie. I barely talk about hockey in any video that I do. But the point being, I wanted to talk about the Stanley Cup playoffs. Or at least I just wanted to talk about the playoffs in general, or the final in general, and just enjoy all the different exciting events that occurred along the way. Because after all, we're here at this again, and what's going to happen? Well, I don't know. I guess we'll have to find out. But the way I see it, it's amazing that we got to see this rematch again. I mean, for one thing, last year was amazing. I did not think that would happen, or that it would... I thought Oilers would actually screw this up last year. I actually expected it to be... I didn't necessarily think it would be a rematch this year, because actually, if anyone's been paying attention to the playoffs, it got very close at the beginning, because nobody expected the Kings to screw it all up. So for context, for those who don't know, it was the first round in the Western Conference. It was between the Edmonton Oilers and the Los Angeles Kings. And for reference, the Los Angeles Kings were up 2-0 in their match with Oilers. Now, what happened? How did this end so poorly? Honestly, I can't say. It's too bad, because actually Oilers, they have a terrible goaltender that all of a sudden likes to work and just likes to awaken at the perfect time. Granted, though, he after the second game, They pulled him and moved over to Calvin Pickard, their backup goalie, and somehow has not lost a single playoff game thus far, which is hilarious to me. I mean, on one hand, he didn't lose any of those 4 games against the Los Angeles Kings. But at the same time, I can't discredit the Oilers because they finally woken and actually decided to take care of their goalie. I mean, on one hand, Skinner is a bad goalie. I hate to say it. The mustache doesn't help him do any favors. But on the other hand, they left him out to dry. There was no defense for Oilers at all. And somehow they woke him back in Game 3 and won in overtime, which was... Honestly, I expected Oilers to fight back. But at the same time, I didn't expect the Los Angeles Kings to crumble that easily. And when I say that easily, I mean that easily. I mean, for crying out loud, in the next few games, Oilers were scoring goals like every few seconds. Key word, seconds, not minutes. That's insane how that was. I may be exaggerating, but you watch the games, you'll know what I'm talking about. It was insane. I gotta tell you, there's no way I can compete with like Urinating Tree or Skilly Up in terms of making jokes about that, but my gosh, what a freaking collapse. Do go check out their videos. They are hilarious. Not so much Skilling Up at the moment because I think he's not making any videos at the moment because he can't due to, unfortunately, the NHL on YouTube being very picky, I guess you could say. Actually, no, being picky is very... very nice word. That's not the word I would say. And it's completely missing the issue. Oh, they're being very annoying when it comes to copyrighting videos. Like, why? Well, what's the necessity there? If I'm not mistaken, these NHL YouTubers, all they're doing is just advertising the game and bringing in more fans. I mean, from the comments that I read on several of their YouTube videos, that's what's going on. Some new fans are popping up and enjoying the videos that they see of the finals or even some games in general. And yeah, that's building the fan base for any team that they so choose to watch. But yet here they are, YouTube is copywriting and striking videos from some of these YouTubers, and they can't do anything. But you know what? That's an issue for another time. The point being is I wanted to talk about the Cup final. I mean, come on. What could you ask for another rematch? I mean, of course, you could ask for a rematch between, like, Detroit and Pittsburgh, but unfortunately, those two teams are not good anymore. Yeah, well, okay, anymore. I'll put in quotations because, let's be honest, there's a chance they can actually get good again. But I highly doubt it. They're both in rebuild mode, or at least Pittsburgh is at the moment. Detroit, they just need to get their stuff together. I don't know what it is because they suck at the beginning of the beginning of the season. But as they get closer towards the end, they actually start playing. They start winning. And yet, unfortunately, most of the time, it's when it's too late. By that time, they've lost so many games that they don't gain enough points, and they get screwed at the end of the day. They don't make playoffs because they chose not to do it at the beginning. And here they are. That's the issue that they had. That could be said a lot about other teams because actually the Eastern Conference was a lot closer than we thought. I mean, it was literally anybody's game. Anyone could have taken the last wild card spot or the last spot in either conference's third spot. But unfortunately, Detroit Red Wings could not do that this year. Granted, though, in fairness, Detroit is... See, the reason Detroit was able to make playoffs a long time ago was because they were in the Western Conference. So it was a lot easier. Now, I know I might be dissing the Western Conference a lot, but let's be honest. The Western Conference is a lot easier conference than the Eastern Conference. I mean, my gosh. There are so many good teams in the East that the West cannot compare. Like, it's a miracle that the West can even win Stanley Cup. Can even win the Stanley Cup. But it's like a back and forth. So it's like, most of the time I would argue the East is dominant if you look throughout the history. But I get it. Then again, I will give credit. The West definitely had a bit of a dynasty, that the Western Conference teams were winning the Cup more often than the Eastern Conference, but that was short-lived. Nowadays, the Eastern Conference is the better conference, I would say, in my opinion, of course. But the point being, in this scenario, we are dealing with actually two upgraded teams from their last years. So let me tell you, honestly, I wanted to bring out this video before the ending of Game 3, but no, I can't even pretend that the Game 3 was over. Or sorry, I can't even pretend that Game 3 didn't happen. Because my gosh, what the heck happened? What is going on in these playoffs? They're already better than last year's playoffs. Now, I hear people complain that, oh, it's the same teams every single year going to the Cup final. Like, bruh, it's a miracle that we even see that. Okay? NBA, that happens every single year. Okay? Because unfortunately, every other team sucks that doesn't have LeBron or Kevin Durant or Steph Curry. It's a miracle that all of a sudden they finally changed. Here, it's a miracle that we can even have a consistent rematch like this. You know how many times this has happened in NHL history? Only 4 times. And 2 of those times was only because of freaking Montreal. They were able to beat both St. Louis and Boston in back-to-back cups, in back-to-back rematches. And, of course, they won the cup both times, so that's like 4 for Montreal right there. It was amazing. And then right before this matchup, we had the Detroit and Pittsburgh. And actually, it was back and forth. Detroit won the first one, and then Pittsburgh won the second time in 2008, 2009. So that was, that was incredible. But then after that, we haven't had a consistent matchup or a consecutive matchup for a while. So here we are. Now we actually have this. This is the 4th time in NHL history that happens. I mean, now granted, you could say that like one of the teams is constantly going to the Cup final. And okay, I'll give you some credit. This is Florida's 3rd time in a row making to the Cup final. Granted, though, so far, they've only lost once and won once. So, I mean, take that what you will. They're not winning consistently at the moment. Right now, they will if they win this series. But at the moment, they are not winning consistently. So, I don't feed me that crap. And also, it's a miracle Oilers made it to the Cup final. I mean, for crying out loud, I already told you how badly the LA Kings screwed it up. Vegas was their second opponent. They screwed up even more. And then Dallas, they didn't even give them a fight. The only fight they gave them was back in Game 1 where they magically scored 6 goals in freaking 1 period. I mean, it was a little less than that, but my point still stands. They were able to win in the 3rd period. I don't know how Oilers screwed that up, other than Stuart Skinner being a bad goalie, but at the same time, that was the only game they were able to win. So I guess in that case, Oilers learned from Game 1 and just realized, do not give the Stars an inch. And in that case, that was the case that happened. Unfortunately, the Dallas Stars got cakewalked easily in the last couple of games. I mean, my gosh. If there was ever a gentleman's sweep, that's exactly what that was. I mean, they won 4 in a row after that first game. It was bad. It was really bad. Stars, despite having Mikko Rantanen, Jason Robertson, Hintz, despite having all these star players, they couldn't do jack. They couldn't score on Stuart freaking Skinner. How? And unfortunately, the last final game, which was Game 5, potentially, they pulled Ottinger and let DeSmith get in. And unfortunately, that was probably a bad move, I had to say. In the long run, in hindsight being 2020, it was a bad move to pull your star goaltender for the Stars. Granted, though, I understand why it was done at the time, but looking back, it really wasn't the best decision. But at the same time, you could argue, Stars were going to lose either way because it was 2-0 by that time. And yeah, I guess so. But no one ever knows. At the end of the day, no one ever knows, and hopefully things probably would have turned out differently had things go as planned, and Dallas played like they did back in the first 2 series against Colorado Avalanche. Granted, though, that went to 7 games, and also granted, though, Dallas, or rather, their head coach, Pete DeBoer, is amazing in Game 7s. He has never lost a Game 7 yet, and he's only been in 9, which is hilarious to me. But I like that record. It's just too bad he's never won a cup. That's the only sad thing. He has never led a team to the cup. He's led them to the cup final, but they've never won a cup, and that must hurt for a coach, honestly. Like, a great coach, but can't get a team to win a cup. At the end of the day, I don't know. Is it like overconfidence by the team, and that's why they can't do it? Maybe. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, this is the story. This is the coach, and he can't seem to win. And unfortunately, actually, they fired him this postseason. But That's a story also for another time. But the point being, we're here. Oilers, fantastic roster. Much better than the last roster. Much more aggressive. Much more competent shooters. And yeah, that's about it. Goaltending, it's a 50-50 shot. It's like if Pickard can all of a sudden awaken and show up, then yeah, the goaltending is great. The same with Stuart Skinner. If he can show up and finally awaken the beast, then goaltending is great. Otherwise, it's trash. And it's a miracle that they made it this far. Again, twice in a row. You know what I'm saying? For Florida, excellent everything. Aggressive players, skilled shooters, and a skilled goaltender. Sergei Bobrovsky is the man. Bobby is the man. The Russian beast standing in front of that net between those two posts. He can get it done. Sure, does he have some bad games in between? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, he doesn't screw it up at the worst time possible. And that's the difference maker. Stuart Skinner and Pickard, they can. So the Oilers goaltenders, they can easily screw up at the worst time. Bobby, not so much. Now, granted, though, there was that one time or two times that he did kind of screw up against Toronto when they were playing in the second round. However, though, knowing Toronto, you knew it was going to end badly for Toronto. Seriously, there are multiple choke compilations on YouTube. Check it out. It is hilarious. But I will talk about that series in another video. Trust me, I have so many plans for videos these days. This is just the first step. I just want to see how far this goes because, honestly, I feel bad for a YouTuber called Skilling Up because, again, like dealing with the NHL, he can't do any of his videos. Do check out his channel because his videos are amazing. So essentially, I want to try to get this out to try to help build a story like he does. Not try to copy him, but just basically try to bring it out a little more, maybe finally get the NHL to say something and actually help a brother out. But I don't know. I'll do what I can, and I'll just do it just for the entertainment because at the end of the day, I love doing this. So I love talking about hockey. It's a fantastic sport. I have so much love and passion for this game, and I just want to share it with you guys because it is amazing. Trust me, it is really in all your amazing blood pumping outs, you know? It's just fantastic all around. So what are we going to do? So what do we got? So on one hand, we got the Edmonton Oilers with Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, Nugent Hopkins, Corey Perry, a lot of heavy guys. Unfortunately, they lost Zach Hyman back in the Western Conference Final to the Dallas Stars, and unfortunately had to go undergo surgery and will be missing the rest of the Cup Final, unfortunately. So there's that. Otherwise, they still have all their players. What do they got to do? Put it all together. It's really not that difficult. Granted, though, it is only difficult because Florida is excellent at learning from their mistakes. And that's exactly what happened. Game 1, they were more or less outmatched. The Oilers were shooting almost every single time they had the chance to. And in that case, that's what ended up going. However, though, it is a miracle that the Edmonton Oilers, or rather, yes, how Florida managed to screw it up and have the Edmonton Oilers force a game overtime. Now, that was a funny overtime. You know, it like took forever to go through it because so the lead was 3-1 by Florida, and they somehow screwed that up to let Oilers come in and tie it up at 3-3. And so there it is, overtime. Typical overtime went as usual. You know, every team was trying to play more defensive. Everyone trying to get the opportunity to score because at the end of the day, like overtime, you have to be careful because it's sudden death. If one person scores, game's over. Right? It's not like soccer where you can score until time is up and whatever the final score is, that's the final score. No, here you have to be careful. Defense is required to play hard. I mean, if you don't have good defense, you are screwed. Plain and simple. You have to play good defense. And the only way to score is if you find the perfect opportunity to get that puck in the net. And in Game 1, the Edmonton Oilers did, because unfortunately, Tomas Nosek, number 92 on Panthers, committed a penalty, committed a violation, and that is delay of game. Now, trust me, it's not as bad as you think. Delay of game really does suck, unfortunately, because it's an easy thing to do. Pretty much, just all delay of game is just flipping the puck out of play and not touching the glass or not touching anything along the way. Now that's bad, and I say that's bad because, well, it's a penalty. And like on one hand, it's impressive that you can do that. On the other hand, you have to be careful how you do it because my gosh, did it screw them over. And unfortunately, yeah, because of that, the Edmonton Oilers got a power play out of it, and they ended up scoring with 30 seconds left in the first overtime. Honestly, I think a lot of people, like myself, we thought, oh, there's going to be a second overtime. But no, McDavid, giving it to Draisaitl, put the puck in the net on a one-timer, it's done. First game over. Edmonton Oilers claim game one in overtime. But overall, what a fantastic game. I mean, my gosh, so many players were active on both sides. And that's what was amazing to me. I did not think it would be that entertaining of a first game because actually, last year's game was completely one-sided. The Florida Panthers took that 3-0. I mean, on one hand, we expected Panthers to be very dominant because they were very dominant in their previous series as they were getting to the Cup final. But on the other hand, I expected Oilers to fight back because they too had fought so hard to get to this spot. Granted, though, actually they had a harder fight because they had to deal with. And I'm talking about last year. They had to deal with the Kings again. Practically, the Kings are the Oilers' bitch at this point. They had to deal with Vancouver Canucks, and that went to 7 games. So that was an intense Game 7 between two Canadian teams. That was fun. And then they had to deal with Dallas Stars again. But that time was actually a better series because they won 4-2. So at least Stars gave a better fight back then. I don't know why this time they didn't have that much of a fight. But at the same time, Edmonton, like I said, upgraded their lines, their defenses, their offensemen. And here we are. And then Game 2 happened. I have to say, I couldn't have pictured it better myself. It was practically like Game 1, but maybe slightly better. I only say slightly better because there was a lot more goals and a lot more action, and it lasted longer. Mainly because of the lasted longer part. So, Game 2. And this is also another reason why I couldn't pretend that I'm talking about this before Game 1 even started. Because Brad frickin' Marchand. He's a frickin' Canadian killer, my gosh. Honestly, and it's ironic because this dude is Canadian. And I don't know about you, but last I checked, Brad Marchand has not played for and is a freaking beast. I get it, he's the Rat King, but he's a beast when it comes to being a Rat King. I don't know how. This dude is 37 freaking years old, and he is aging like fine wine. He is still he's still capable of any hockey play possible. Yeah, he's a little chippy, he's a little aggressive, but he can freaking score, man, and he's pretty fast. Well, I say only fast when it comes to no one's going to catch him when he catches people. When he catches people off guard, oh, don't even bother. You ain't catching him unless you're freaking Connor McDavid. But that's the problem. That's the only reason he scores because Connor McDavid isn't catching him. Well, it's mostly because he's not even on the same line as Marchand, and that's probably the issue there. I think if anything, they should tweak. Edmonton should tweak the line so that McDavid is the one to catch Marchand. But I don't know if they're going to do that because unfortunately Edmonton, they're not very good with lines. Let's put it that way. Line management. That's the one flaw of the coach, unfortunately. But the point being, Brad Marchand has pretty much scored in every single Cup final game thus far. And trust me, there is a reason I bring this up. You will see it in the next one. But the point being, Marchand was the reason they were able to kill the Oilers in Game 2. The Panthers came out victorious in double overtime. Yeah, not just one overtime, but they went into a second overtime. And it was fan-tucking-fastic. I did not think it would be so entertaining compared to the first, and my gosh, it was. I mean, first of all, we had a couple fights going on in that game. So that was already fun. And another thing, Marchand just somehow beat Skinner twice. For once, to get to the lead. And for another, was the game winner. He sealed the puck and sealed the Oilers' fate in that game. And probably for the rest of the series. I mean, I got to give credit to Sam Bennett as well. This dude, I did not think Sam Bennett would be that much of a goal scorer, but I mean, for one thing, an aggressive dude. Like, that's what he's most for, and that's most known for. And there's a lot of people that are considering him to be a bit of a rat, and if you watch some of his plays over the years, I am more or less willing to agree. However, though, he is that kind of player you want on your team. That's the only difference. And that's why people love Marchand too, because despite hating him, if he's against your team, you would want a guy like him on your team. I mean, who doesn't want the Rat King of all people on their team? You know what I'm saying? So, Bennett also scored some goals. Reinhardt as well. And, also, I forgot to mention our boy, the American Dream guy himself, Matthew Tkachuk. I mean, granted, though, he didn't score any goals in the past couple games, but he has been very helpful nevertheless. He has assisted on a couple of goals and has been very chippy. Actually, less chippy, but more just aggressive. And he's definitely getting under the Oilers' skin, which we eventually will see in Game 3. Now, Game 3 was a total washout. And when I say washout, oh man, it was an ass whooping. I mean, I did not think that the Oilers would collapse that badly. The final score, Panthers won 6-1. Yeah, that should tell you everything you need to know. It was that bad. How the heck did Oilers screw that up? I'll tell you. Did I mention before that the Oilers brought in some people that were very aggressive and very tough guys? Yeah, about that. Not really. At the end of the day, they were so chippy, so annoying that, unfortunately for them, they caused so much trouble to the Panthers that most of them resulted in penalties. And in doing so, they caused this game to slip away from them. So many penalties, providing so many opportunities for the Panthers to capitalize on the power plays and just have a chance to score in general. They were dominant that whole game because at the end of the day, the Oilers were disadvantaged because they constantly had one or two less players on the ice every single time. How did they screw it up? I have no idea. I really don't. I mean, I guess that overtime winner by Marchand, of all people, really screwed them over. Well, that and the first goal was scored by Marchand of the game. So maybe that too. I think Marchand, and it makes sense because that's usually his job. That's the point of the Rat King, is that he gets under people's skin and forces them to do something stupid. In which case, the whole game, Oilers did every single thing that was stupid. So here we are. And the Oilers let it get away from them. And here we are. Panthers up 2-1 in the series. Can the Oilers bring it back and tie up the series at 2 apiece? I don't know. Let me put it this way. I predicted the series to go 7 games, with Oilers winning at the end. Mainly because I would figure this would be different from last year. Now, granted, though, I'm still going to support, while I think that Oilers are going to win, I'm supporting the Panthers. USA, baby! Because at the end of the day, come on. The freaking Panthers. And we got to keep the running joke that Canada can't win a cup in over 30 years. I mean, come on. That is a beautiful running joke that I just found so hilarious. Come on. The last cup they won that Canada has claimed, funny enough, by the Canadians of all teams, in 93. So take that what you will. I know, there's only 7 Canadian teams, but you would think that Canada would breed / genetically modify hockey players so that they can be the best in the whole league. But no. Out of those 7 teams, there's only one team that's good enough to even make consistently to the Cup final or higher. And no, not Toronto. Screw Toronto. It's hilarious, but a video for another time. So the point being, this series, whilst I'm supporting the Panthers, I will not be disappointed if Oilers finally get it done. If Connor McDavid can finally get his first ever cup in his lifetime. So at the end of the day, this dude, he's not called McJesus for no reason. He's actually a very good player. I would argue, and I'm sure everyone else can argue, that he is better than all the other players out there. It's just unfortunately, one player can't do it all alone. It would be beautiful if he can. If this was basketball, sure, one player can do it all by himself. But this is hockey. One player cannot do it all by himself. Because at the end of the day, there's so much defense blocking the goalie, assuming that there's good defense, that one guy can't shoot it past all of them. Not even McDavid can do that, unfortunately. Again, he's great, but he's not like a god. That's the difference. He needs a good team to also support him. He needs support. Just like every other good player on every other good team, they need support in order to get this done. It's a team sport for a reason. So what's going to happen? I don't know. Honestly, I can't say. I expect game 2 that the Oilers are going to tighten their stuff up and finally get back into it. But at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if Oilers keep this going, or Panthers keep this going, and they screw over the Oilers, and their series are done. Their championship run will be over. And you know what? Hey, 2 in a row for the Panthers? That's a new record. So at the end of the day, this series so far has been great. And I'll probably do a recap video of the series in when the series is over. And then I'm going to do a couple more videos. They're going to be some of the series videos that you've probably seen. And pretty much, not copy and paste of like Urinating Tree or Skilling It Up. Go subscribe to them, by the way. But essentially, yeah, I basically, for lack of better words, I want to make videos about those series in a nutshell, if you will. Pretty much tell the whole story of what the teams are like, what happened, and what they did to get to this point, and what happened. Pretty much simple as that. And honestly, I think it'll be entertaining. It'll be fun to talk about. And by all means, people come on live. I'm streaming on Twitch. And I will post this on YouTube eventually. But by all means, drop a comment below and drop a comment in the stream and enjoy, man. Enjoy the conversation with me and enjoy this beautiful game with me. Because honestly, again, like I said, greatest sport in all of history. And I'm so glad human beings were that inventive that they could create such a game like this. And I can't wait for more years to come. I mean, this is great. And also, if you like, there are a couple people out there who know me, who know what kind of hockey fan I am. So if you like, drop in the comments, what hockey team do you think I'm a fan of? I'd like to see you try guessing. It's going to be hilarious. All right. Well, I suppose that's all the time for me. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, and follow me on Twitch. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great and blessed day. Have a great and blessed day, folks. Peace!